All right, back for more modern sampling. Is what I'm calling it. We're just kind of one and doneing with these different decks. Plan a match, going over the deck so people can check it out and see what's the plan, and then plan a match, seeing how that goes. So we've got a Grixis Born Oculus deck in modern with the newly unbanned Faithless looting. This is a lot like the standard deck. If you remember the blue-white Oculus decks that use Helping Hand, we have Unearth instead, which is basically the same card, except for you get it untapped, and Unearth has cycling. So that's a sweet one. But yeah, it's sort of like a mid-range, beat-down, tempo style deck, but it's like baby Reanimator, right? Instead of reanimating fatties, you're just reanimating a 3-drop that is about as strong as a fatty. In Abhorrent Oculus, we also have Psychic Frog to discard. In addition to the Faithless lootings, some Bowmasters, just because it's a strong card. Tamayo can easily be flipped with Faithless looting, and then there's some counter spells like Stern Scolding, removal, discard, just that stuff to sort of make sure you're alive and your Oculus can do its thing and finish the game. A Brazen Borrower, just as a utility card. Deep Analysis as a value discard for Faithless looting. And then obviously Sink into Stupor, just because this card is really strong in a sort of land slot. Sideboard, there is Spellbound for Graveyard Hate, Consigned Memory for things like Eldrazi decks, Extra Stern Scolding, Surgical, Rakdos Charm's kind of interesting. If someone tries to Splinter Twin combo you can just make them take the billion damage instead of you taking the damage. This also obviously can be used against artifact decks and other Faithless looting decks. So an interesting utility card in sort of Grixis shells. And then extra Brazen Borrower, a Trespasser, Glistening Deluge for Boros Energy, Meltdown for artifacts, and Subtlety, I assume, primarily for Amulet Titan. So that is the deck. I'm really excited. This is probably number one on my list of things I was excited to try. So I'm excited. Hopefully the match goes well, and I will see you guys in the game. All right. We got looting. We got Oculus. We got one land. I think that's fine. I think this is a keep. Depending what they do, maybe I want to play Tamayo over looting just to flip it on turn 2. But if I think the Tamayo might die, I'll probably just jam the looting and try to set up Unearth. Yeah, because the other upside is I can Deep Analysis on turn 2. So what are we getting? We're getting red. Could get red-black, actually. But then if I draw my second Blood Crypt, it's awkward. I could get blue-red. Maybe blue-red is the safest bet, because if I brick on lands, then I have Tamayo at least. Lots of interesting decisions in Modern, definitely. Okay, this is the other problem that I didn't state, which is like, what if I find another Steam Vents? Now I don't have black mana. Also, this is kind of like the worst possible one because I can't Deep Analysis out of the graveyard. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Kind of awkward. Bowmaster's a funny card in Modern because it's like, it kind of sucks until it doesn't, and then it's like the best thing ever. But there's a lot of games where it just sort of feels like you're playing with like buffed Raise the Alarm, and that's not the best. So, it's an interesting card. Yeah, this is very awkward. If I just got a Rakdos, a Blood Crypt, like, I would be so much better off. But it kind of just goes both ways, right? Where, like, I don't know. It's sort of just random. Maybe I messed up. Hopefully we'll just find a black source. Maybe Oculus can carry. Okay. So. I cannot do two things. Guess I'm just going to Deep Analysis and get back Oculus. I don't really know what else I would possibly do. Could have done this first. Should have done this first. I mean, if they mana tithe me, good on them. They got me. Okay. Alright, do the thing. Hopefully the thing is good enough. We do have a backup on Earth. They have force. Wow. Okay. Well, shit. They have another island to leave up counter spells. Next question. Okay, so now we have to dodge a second force. I could just play the frog to play around force, but I don't think it's worth it. Okay. So now they need like a tune plus a discharge or like a path to exile style effect. My 2 mana looks very scary, but none of my cards do anything. Like, my hand is heinous. Could matter if, what could I flip, like a Tamayo or something? You could have, like, red, oh. Huh. I didn't expect that. I guess they have Stoneforge Mystic in their deck. Let's get Oculus. Could maybe consider Frog if I had the mana for it, but I think the answer is just get another Oculus. Okay, do nothing. I think I'm just supposed to flip this thing up. You know what? I messed up. I should have just, I guess it's fine. I can leave up Stern Scolding the other way. Like, if I want to kill the Tamayo, then I could shock the sink and then have Fatal Push. Now I have to leave up Stern Scolding. Okay. So they get to keep the Tamayo. Which is probably not a good thing for me, but whatever. They can't deal with the Oculus. None of it really matters, I don't think. But yeah, I think I would much rather have just killed this than left up Stern Scolding. I could maybe just take the land, no? I think it's higher value. Like, I assume that this is getting dealt with by a Solitude the majority of the time. Expressive iteration, sure. Now, I have this for a Solitude anyway. I didn't really consider that, because in my head it's just like a 0 mana spell, but it is a creature, so it doesn't get countered. Maybe that's part of why this deck has main deck Stern Scoldings, is to answer Solitude. Not sure. This should have attacked, no? I don't know why I talked about this Blood Crypt like it was going in my hand. Sorry. That didn't make any sense. Whatever. Doesn't make a difference. Okay. I will... I'm just going to attack. Attack, leave up all my mana. Do nothing more. Bowmaster's Pressure. I guess I will just Bowmaster, right? Seems kind of obvious here. They could have Spell Snare. Whatever. Maybe this is bad because of Spell Snare. Where, like, I don't care that much about the Tamayo. And then they get to use this 1 mana potentially. And then I can't force the Spell Snare. Like, if I do this on their turn, then I can force the Spell Snare. But that kind of sucks too. I don't know. I don't think it matters. Overthinking it. So Jeskai, Stoneblade, with Tamayo. Okay, I guess Trespasser. I don't know how much removal I think they're gonna have. So Stern Scolding actually is kind of appealing, I think. They have Solitude, Stoneforge, Mystic, Tamayo. Trespasser is like pretty whatever against their deck. Spellbomb doesn't really do anything. They might have Ragavan. Thoughtseize, Brazen Borrower. So Brazen Borrower can eat Tamayo, and it's just like a decent utility card. Do I want Subtlety? Subtlety seems terrible. And then Thoughtseize is kind of mid. Maybe I want Thoughtseize on the play, but not the draw. Do I want all my Fatal Pushes? Not really. So Force Negation. They're probably going to put in Graveyard Hate. So I need to value Thoughtseize higher considering that. What would it be, though? This is just there to blow up Exile. So it doesn't even kill Kaldra. Alright, we're not doing that. We're leaving in Thoughtseize. Shoot the Sheriff over Fatal Push. That seems... It's just Solitude. I guess Flage. Rakdos Charm also nabs Flage, which almost assuredly is in their deck. But I do have Brazen Borrowers. I have a Trespasser. Let's do this. Is Bowmaster bad? I'm too slow. Alright, try this. There's a lot of different things that could be in their deck. There's a lot of different reasons I could sideboard differently. I think there's plenty of defensible things. Like maybe Spellbomb's not as bad as I think it is against Flage. Where like you just leave in 1 or whatever. Okay, we'll keep this. This is a more controlling hand, but it's got a bunch of stuff that I think I want. Don't have a fast Oculus, but they might have Graveyard Hate anyway, so... Like this hand against Rest in Peace is kind of whatever. Like I cycle the Unearth, the Tamayo maybe flips, and then I just have interaction pieces. And I have a push for their own Tamayo, which is good. Preordain, okay. Yep. Oh, I F6'd. Damn it. Well, it's probably fine. Like, I think I should force the hearse. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's just whatever. Maybe we just power through it. I mean, this Tamayo living is going to give me a pretty large advantage, and now I have force to protect it. They're probably just gonna Flage me though, right? And then I'm gonna feel like an idiot. No land is good news. Okay, let's get... Do I want... Yeah, you got me. Okay. Well, that was bad. Kind of hard to play around all that stuff. Guess I just fetch main phase to play around Spell Pierce. It's pretty awkward though. Do I want to surveil or just sack a clue? I think I'll just sack a clue. I also have these unearthed, so I want to cycle away. So Hearse means Rakdos Charm definitely comes in, so maybe a punt by me. Them not having Rest in Peace is because they have Flage, so that makes sense as well. So yeah, I do think the Rakdos Charm should have come in. Okay. So I Borrower, they Hearse. Just say go. So what can I do? I can... It doesn't matter. I'm just going to be reactive and then try to win on the back of this Brazen Borrower. I think it's the current plan. And I should consider sideboarding out both Abhorrent Oculus and Unearth. And then having all of my Thoughtseizes. Okay, let's just bounce this for tempo. Just makes things a bit awkward for them if they want to tap out. Maybe they just have like 4th land plus counterspell, but so we could hit an Oculus here. That would be huge. Okay, if they have Spell Snare, we can Unearth. I kind of want to play this. Sort of close. It's like kind of a difficult call, like maybe against Flage or whatever. It's another card I can discard to Frog. There's a lot of reasons, but I want to get these Unearths out of my hand. I don't really want to plan for these Unearths, like reanimating something against Unlicensed Hearse. So I suspect this Frog is going to die. But maybe not. This thing's kind of hard to kill for Jeskai decks. So hers comes back, but I have a Frog in play. So we cycle Unearth. I could bluff Counterspell. I don't know if that accomplishes anything, really. Because they're still just going to go for it eventually. They just do it now. The removal spell, I mean. And I don't really have Counterspell. I guess I could have drawn whatever, but I need to cycle these. I think that's very important. Also, the Frog 2 for 1 is nice. They're out of cards. So I have to beat a Hearse with a Brazen Borrower. I don't have a Fatal Push if it ever becomes a creature. Sounds doable. Please don't mill a Flage. I didn't mill an Oculus. You can't mill a Flage. That's the rules. Alright, extra push. Push, not great. Like, maybe they boarded out their Stoneforge Mystic stuff. It's not a thing that you typically see anyway. That was a good draw. Alright. This is obviously better than casting Brazen Borrower. So they need to hit on a removal spell. Blockers get dealt with pretty easily. I guess. Yeah. I think we're in a good spot. That was a really good top deck. You need to hope they miss. I mean, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's annoying. So land is nice. I get to play 2 threats. It's nice to be in a position where lands and spells do stuff. Huh. Well, I think I'm gonna play Brazen Borrower. And if they top deck a Wrath Disguise, I'll just be sad. And that's all there is to it. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good draw. It's kind of like Time Walk. I think they might have taken out the Stoneforge Mystic stuff. Okay, let's make our obvious attacks. Frog goes face. Brazen Borrower goes to Fairy. What do you want to block? You want to block my frog? Oh, duh. Okay. So the way Hearse works is it's going to get tapped. So let's discard Oculus, and then we can jump the frog. I guess either way it doesn't really matter. Because this is cost. So now it's a creature too, which means I could Fatal Push it. So a potential misstep depending on what they have. Do I want to let them block? It'll go to 6. Alright, you have flying now. Okay. So they got us earlier. I think we get to get them. Wait, does it say or Planeswalker? Wow, that is aggressive. Okay, let's get this Hearse out of our life. Make things simpler. And then do I want to just... Do I want to just deep analysis now? I think I should. Like, I think I'm killing them relatively quickly. I don't need, like, 4 cards. I think just getting 2 cards is fine, using my mana. And then trying to deploy the things I draw. So I'm sort of just hoping to dodge Rat this, guys. Alright, cool. So that was the match. I think I did not sideboard well. But their deck was... Like, I'm not used to seeing the Jeskai deck with Stoneforge Mystic. I assume that was in their deck. I think they pitched one to a Solitude. Should have Caldera, right? But yeah, this deck is pretty fun. It's a lot of, like, sort of small decision points. And then you do have this free win of, like, Faithless Looting plus Oculus. I understand why sometimes people, even though Looting got unbanned, just choose to play straight up blue-black. And then you're sort of just, like, forced into a tempo roll. But I like the look of this build, which is, like, no counter spells, main deck discard, where you just sort of, like, try to do the Reanimator thing more, where you're a little bit more proactive, and then you just say, hey, you better draw well, because I thought seized your hand, and now I have this Oculus in play, or the Psychic Frog. But yeah, the Bowmasters seem kind of hit or miss. Brazen Borrower makes a lot of sense, especially after the post-board games. 3 Forces, I don't know how I feel about 3 Forces. Just because you have such a low blue card count. But it does sort of play into the plan of, like, play an Oculus, force your opponent to answer it. So either way, I'm sure this deck will be iterated on and become better over time. But yeah, that was fun to play. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Like and subscribe. And yeah, there'll be more modern sampling until I run out of decks to play. Take care.